we've added a new feature which allows you now to pivot on this data. So what I'm going to try and do is explain to you what you can do with these here and why they're really useful. So I'm going to start by showing you something very simple. So let's clear all the columns out here because I don't want them all in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with something simple. So again, some nice columns to learn about: hour bins, half hour bins, quarter hour bins. So I'm going to start with an hour bin. So an hour bin will tell me between these hours what's happened. And what I want to do now is I'm going to add the call direction onto here. Okay, now the call direction is blue, which means I can click on this and I can retrieve columns out. So what I'm going to do is show you without me setting it. So what I'm going to get is a list of, between this hour there was an outgoing call, between this hour there was an outgoing call. Again, there are 2,332 items. This to me is pointless, doesn't tell me anything at the moment. Now if I flick this and I say retrieve as columns, what this will now do is go off and count how many incoming calls I had between those hours, how many outgoing calls I had between those hours, and it will give me a nice statistic that says, right, between 11 and 12, the business had 9 incoming legs, 144 outgoing legs, 12 internal legs, and no tandem legs at that point. Okay, that could be all that you want, and it could be as well that you're looking at, you could add in, say, call tree paths again and say, I only want this where it contains service. Okay, and then it would filter out this bit here to only include all the service stuff here. So if you're looking for how many calls went into service in hours, you can see that information as well. You want to know then, of those 130 outgoing calls, why did they terminate? So I could add in the terminating reason and add it in here, and it would then tell me of those. So your columns will stay the same, the first 4 sets, the numbers haven't changed, but what it's now doing is telling me what were the terminating reasons of those. So of those calls, one of them was diverted and 118 were normal. And it could be over here, look, you have 4 transfers, 2 redirects. Okay, so what you're going to end up with is a whole data set of why they left the call. So it could be in this hour we had 10 incoming, of which 10 of those were transferred, would be the total amount of outgoing and internal, but 10 of those calls in that hour were transferred out from an extension. Okay, so that stuff is really useful, and you could even then add in things like date. So you could add in here and say, well, I want that by day. Right, now I've got a full data set here of per day, per hour, of how many incoming, outgoing and internal calls and the terminating reasons of all of those. I can export that into Power BI, into Excel, wherever you.
You'd start as a CSV generally, wouldn't you, for this sort of.
You've got that information now available.
And you could just click on the X on the hour bin and take it to being a day.
Yeah, you can literally take that down and go, right.
Take it and go, actually, I don't want to know by hour, I just want to know by day. That's going to be enough for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And again, remember we're looking at legs here. So if somebody comes to you and says, I want to know the total amount of calls, okay, that have come into the business, again, you've got them in all of the analytics fields over here.
Yeah.
You could just add in the word date over here, or you could even add in the word day, and you could add the weekday numbers or the day numbers or the day labels as well. You could go for this month and say, so if I run that again, I'm going to get a whole list of stuff that's not really that much useful.
And obviously you're using quick dates there, but if you click down on the quick dates, you can choose a specific range as well.
Yeah. And then we can go through here and see, on this day, how many incoming, outgoing and internal calls we have. Yeah. This is not legs, this is calls to the business. So if that's what somebody's asking you for, there you go. You've got it all now.
But obviously here, because we're looking now at calls, you can't pull that more granular information.
No, it's not the more granular. No. But you've got the stats. So this is where, again, the question when people are talking to you, Do you want legs, i.e. how many individual interactions the customer had? Or is it we just want to know how many calls have come in? So it'd be one call, it doesn't matter how many interactions, and there you go, there's your stats.
Right, thank you, Matt.